next tournament, he comes out with another level of focus.
So here we go. Ben Johns to serve. Let's play pickleball. Missed backhand volley there. This is, of course, where Colin Schick made his magical run and appearance here in the pickleball world, coming out of the qualies and then playing Ben in the final. And Garnett, heavy energy player.
Always bouncing around, looks like the little Energizer Buddy out there, and has a lot of game to back it up to.
And he's got the Garnett sort of Pro XR like jersey he's wearing here with his name on the back. There's a good look at Ben. We'll take a look at Garnett here in a minute. Such a beautiful use of the front of the court. I mean, this is a dude that was working in finance, now has signature paddle. He's got a jersey with his name on the back. 4th seed of all the players. What a rise.
Yeah, had a big boy job, a lot to leave behind, but decided to make the jump for pro pickleball regardless. Oh my goodness.
And now is hitting half-speed winners past Ben Johns. That was ridiculous. Ben thought the point was over, maybe.
Yeah, Garnett played that from his ankles and somehow found the back of the court.
And this is the match Garnett desperately wants. He wants, obviously he wants a win, but a win of a tournament through Ben.
But this is where Connor Garnett is at in his, pickleball progression. He's had several finals. He's come very, very close. Hasn't taken a title yet, if I'm correct on that, and has had big moments, like we mentioned, against the best, where he's come just barely shy of taking the title.
Cat and mouse to perfection there from Ben Johns.
And you see how hard Connor Garnett had to work just to stay neutral in that kitchen exchange. That is where the GOAT is leaps and bounds above the rest of the pack. Very tough to beat in the cat and mouse exchanges.
1-1.
Tries to do a little too much with that. Ben typically drops that to the backhand, dropped it to the forehand there because this dude is dangerous off the ground on the two-way.
Yeah, he's got to keep those thirds very low to Connor Garnett. Very capable off the bounce.
Oh my, and after an unbelievable rally, Ben pushes one wide. And for those new to pickleball, describe what we mean when we say cat and mouse, Kyle.
Well, so often, in singles, it's about implementing your will and driving the ball and ripping it. But a lot of players, once they get a little bit more seasoned, will choose to slow the ball down, drop more of their thirds, gradually look to get forward, and play an extended rally, working more short angles closer to the kitchen line.
And Ben has so many weapons up there, he welcomes them to come forward and dare to enter his lair.
Yeah, certainly a lot more touch involved, a lot more like doubles. We obviously are very familiar with the doubles prowess of Ben Johns.
Bad luck off the tape there. And what can you do? Just go back and return. What are the advantages to a backhand on a return?
Yeah, I think it's a stronger, more compact swing. It also doesn't give your opponent spin to work with. Usually it's going to be more flat or with top spin. Players have gone away from slicing their returns because other opponents have been able to use that backspin to create even more top spin.
Yeah, and that's one thing, fans at home, if you slice it and the opponent loves topspin, guess what? The ball's still spinning in the same way, only double time with the spin. So you just keep the ball moving in the same direction. And that is vicious. And that's why Garnett's such a good singles player, dangerous on both sides.
Yeah, has really improved his forehand over the last year. When he came on the scene, everyone saw what he could do on the backhand side. Players started going to the forehand a lot more, and he's put a lot of work on that side. It's paying off.
Yeah, that's, you don't usually, I like to use no-go zone on volleys, but that is the no-go zone on the return there, because that is sick right there.
And you can see the amount of shape he's able to generate is really just second to none. The best two-handed backhand in pickleball, in my opinion.
Side out.
And you saw how long Ben was willing to allow that to happen one time, and then right back to the forehand. The algorithm doesn't get broken. 3 up here. Good battle to start this first semifinal.
Kind of odd, David. We've seen a few backhand drops from Ben with the two-hander. He's normally gone to the one-handed slice chip motion. I think, like you had mentioned, he's not really wanting to play that to the backhand side of Connor Garnett. So Connor already getting Ben to change some of his patterns.
And a tremendous battle for Garnett. Just Johns could not find a good enough ball to put away the volley.
Yeah, he'll normally kind of chip his backhand volley kind of mid-court, cross-court. But most people can't hurt him with the backhand. Connor Garnett can.
Slid a little deep on him there, but Garnett so good at moving and hitting the ball on the run as well. That'll make Ben have to hit a lot of extra shots here in this one. And if that's on, look out.
Yeah, really clutch pass there from Garnett. Didn't actually return and come in because of the quality of the Johns serve. Was able to pass him on the next strike.
I think the ball from Garnett was going to be wide, and Ben saw the Ernie, took it, but pushed it straight ahead. But unfortunately, straight ahead was already wide.
5-3.
Just missed that one. So good pressure from Garnett. Has Ben Johns in a little, just a little off at the kitchen just because of the quality of the ball coming at him.
Yeah, it's very tough when you're being moved like that to be able to take the outside edge of the ball and hook it back cross court. But Garnett's been able to do that throughout this match.
The footwork to be able to pull that down the line was critical.
Yeah, he didn't settle for the backhand on that occasion. Got his feet involved. Was able to rip a beautiful forehand there.
So good, and that's the advantage of the two-handed backhand coming forward. You can get that spin, and so even though it's open and you're moving, watch him just be able to roll that in the corner. That's nice.
Yeah, much tougher to do with the one-handed backhand where you can take a little bit earlier, but is generally a little flatter.
Connor Garnett.
That's some excellent anticipation there. Really guessed right. Not easy to do in a cat and mouse exchange with the #1 player in the world.
And just what a beautiful two-handed backhand again, and he is up 3.
And Johns is such a percentage player. He really dares players more often than not into a tough cross-court pass. But for Connor Garnett, that can be relatively routine given his ball striking.
Oh, and he had a great look at an ATP and almost hit it too hard, so it didn't get to the court.
4-7.
Let's remember that one because that was 8-4. Garnett guessed right, but still too good from Ben. Big serve, setting up big opportunities.
Yeah, anytime you can get Connor Garnett to take his left hand off the paddle and have to volley with one hand,
it's impressive with Connor Garnett. Can he finish? That's always been the question in these, and there's a freebie right out of the timeout.
Yeah, and you hate missing a return wide. You know, Ben John's such a tactical player. You can usually go well inside the lines. I'd prefer more of a middle return, to be honest with you.
Ooh, and there's the favorite shot of Ben, taken away because he played Tay as the lefty. You don't want to go there quite as often, but here, even with the two-handed backhand prowess of that dude, you still want to make that because he's going to have to hit up on the ball. Can't make it. Lucky sevens on the board.
Almost looked like Garnett played an out ball there, but he must have seen it hit the line. Looked like there was some space from our vantage point.
Yeah, and when you're on the dead run, again, you're judging the value of your opponent's ball, and both these players play it very fair, if not sometimes 20 by 44 and an inch. What a smart, great first volley from Connor Garnett there. Throw it back in the corner and dare him to beat him with the two-handed backhand.
Yeah, just staying ahead in the point. Didn't panic, trying to finish the point too early, making the #1 player in the world work for everything he gets.
Santa Clara Bronco pushes that one too late, so it's a turtle versus a Bronco here as the Maryland Terrapin Ben Johns steps to the line. Boy, in the return, we had a couple of those here. It just can't happen.
Yeah, just a little bit of a dip in level, and here we go. Ben Johns back with the lead.
Yeah, that last ball is usually the Ben starting the cat and mouse. It's like the opening scene of what's going to happen, but didn't get it on the ground.
Yeah, I didn't love the shot selection from Garnett, almost inviting Ben forward, but an unusual pop-up from Mr. Johns.
7-8.
And 'tis the season. Snowmen on the board.
Garnett had a very good look at that pass. These were the points matter just a little bit more, Dave.
Yeah, another drop from the backhand side again, that time with two hands. The other one was with one, but both got way too deep into the kitchen.
Yeah, it almost looked like Ben was a bit fooled there. Already had the second hand on the paddle, but tried a two-handed slice drop. I'm not sure if that's even in his arsenal yet.
And that stays in off the tape, so fortune for Connor Garnett. I mean, we mentioned some of the score lines he's had against Ben where he's just been this exact spot. Can he finish?
Yeah, gotten to here, but needs to do just a little better to close the door.
And again, the same bug bites Garnett where the approach, if that's on the ground, you're in great position, but way too far.
They're trading Ernie's here late in game one.
8-9.
And there's the difference. He got that one on the ground, and then Ben is more than happy to play that head-to-head mano-a-mano at the kitchen line battle. 9-9.
9-9.
Nice, good deep return there from Garnett, taking the angle away from Ben.
9-9. Side out.
That just looked off from the rhythm. Kind of tapped the paddle and it kind of made a clank and it just was off. And not even close to getting up over the net.
Yeah, Garnett in complete control of the kitchen line there, all set up by a perfect return in the corner.
Ben wanted to run around it and had to abort that mission. Oh my goodness. Ben was out absolutely ready to throw a Colin Johns size fit about the tape there and got away. So will the offensive timeout prove fruitful? Wow, and just pushed wide.
Gets away with a pretty short return, was able to use his athleticism to clean up his mess on the volley.
And that's a hope shot there for Garnett when you're stretched out. He's trying to hit a winner.
Yeah, and the adjustment that we've seen from Ben Johns is he's taking his first volley back to the forehand of Connor Garnett. He's not giving him angle for that two-handed backhand on the run, which he normally does for most of his opponents.
Wow. Johns was on it, but just enough pace from Garnett. 9-9 again. See the wind whipping in the background. That's what's affecting our baseline cam. Oh, and there it is, and it rears its ugly head at 9-all does the tape. All right, Connor Garnett, here's your chance. 10-9, game point, and he's going to take a timeout. All right.
And you kind of get this.
The return to be here, so here we go. What did he dial up in his mind? Oh, and it is pushed wide on a ball that I think from Connor Garnett was going to go deep, and he does get a gift going out the door in a position to be in with game one in his pocket.
And another unforced error on the volley from Ben Johns. This does not happen very often. He gives very little away traditionally up at the kitchen line.
And frustration shown.
Normally so stoic out there.
Garnett went with like an off-speed, just slow serve there. That was interesting. Sort of set the table for Ben to dictate how he wanted to play that. That was interesting. Did not work out. Oh my, we're still playing. Wow. Bizarre. Ben had Connor running out of the, I mean, he could have hit 90% of the court, hit it right to Garnett, and it goes off the tape, and we're still playing. That was craziness.
Looked like he had that point one a few times and ended up needing an amazing angle to finally get it done.
And misses the serve, so the frustration continues. And if Connor Garnett ever wanted to think about how he wanted this match to go, this is it. Up a game, up. Ben looking a little bit out of sorts.
Yeah, you know that Johns is eventually going to find his level, so this is the moment for Connor Garnett to try to get some separation here, see if he can get a bit of a lead.
1-2.
That shot has not worked at all for Ben today. That next drop to get into cat and mouse, both two-handed backhand, one-handed backhand there, came up well short.
It looks like he's caught mentally between choosing between one or the other, and it's throwing him off at the moment.
And these are the places. I realize it's 2-1, but that's 2 rallies in a row when serving, when Garnett's had a look at a passing shot, which he has made hundreds of times in other matches. Didn't make it there.
2.
And one of the stories here, Dave, is just John's really struggling playing his style of pickleball,
Yes.
which is extending more points, gradually being able to move forward. The quality of the ball striking and the two-handed backhand of Connor Garnett is really throwing off some of Ben John's favorite patterns.
Such a smart volley there as Garnett tried to go full, like get as much junk on that as he could to get it to bounce, just couldn't get it down.
Yeah, I think he thought Johns was going to cover line a little bit more, but he was not fooled. It stayed home correctly.
Same shot, this time misses wide.
Yeah, really struggling for the feel on his backhand drop at the moment.
2-1.
And plenty of topspin, finds the court, 3-1.
Point.
Again, we talked about how critical, even though it's early in game two, just how critical this time is. It seems like he's getting a lower level from Ben Johns. He's got to take advantage and get as many points as he can.
That's phenomenal on both sides of the court right there.
Yeah, Garnett stretching Johns on each one of those volleys. John's doing a good job of staying balanced, not doing too much, and waiting for that perfect opportunity.
One, three. Side out.
This is where you just one at a time if you're Connor.
Three, one.
Oh, and bunts it into the corner there on the move. Come on, Connor Garnett.
Normally when he takes one hand off the paddle, he's slicing it back cross court. I think he fooled Johns there, keeping that one up the line.
And this is reaching critical moment here. 11-9 in the bank, 5-1 now.
Yeah, he's done what we asked him to do, is get that separation in the here and now. Now it's going to come down to closing.
Side out.
All right, so Ben having a lengthy chat with himself here. Is now the time when the turbo boost is activated. Just late to come in on that pop-up there from Ben Johns. Didn't see it or didn't react to it, and
Well, I think, the tempo he's used to playing is a little bit slower, and so I don't think he was ready for that drive and crash mentality. Would have worked out well there, though.
Side out.
there will be no apology after a 9-all skitter that beat Ben in game number 1. He's been on one for a while here.
5.
The lobs, when people are losing their mind today, have been over.
Yeah, it's the loose points or the shot selection errors that have a way of building confidence in your opponent. We'll see if Garnett pays the price in these upcoming points a little bit more.
Side out.
That's a confidence booster for Garnett, because Ben, again, not the cleanest backhand drop, but he at least got to the line.
See if Garnett can continue to build on this momentum, build on his Game 2 lead.
That would be a negative.
And you almost feel the confidence and the comfortability of Ben Johns just slowly getting a little better, a little better, a little better. We know what his level looks like when he's got it all rolling.
Comes up short again there, but it's the discipline within the rallies from Garnett that's so impressive. I'm not giving that dude a forehand. I saw him hit about 8 of them. Oh, we got a wide over there.
Wide.
Okay, wide. Okay. Did not hear the call. Still love the shot selection. And stayed there again.
Yeah, and I got to be honest, I think that Ben's choosing the wrong shot against Connor Garnett, trying to go topspin to topspin with that roll. Even if that ball bounces in the kitchen, it's going to be a higher bounce where Connor Garnett has a lot of options. He's more.
First time in this showdown, Connor Garnett finished the deal. He called timeout. It did not pay off.
Yeah, once Ben locks in on returning, it's really tough to score points on him. Garnett's been stuck on 5 for a while. I'd love to see Ben Johns getting back to his usual patterns of ripping the forehand, but slicing his backhand drop and taking his chances coming forward that way.
Ben runs around the backhand there to hit that patented inside-out forehand, and it comes up well short, and that corner of the court is betraying Ben Johns right now.
5-3.
Very cash finish there for Ben. So Garnett just, his discipline on when he's been receiving has been remarkable, but he hasn't been able to add to that lead.
3-5.
And there goes the discipline. Went for down the line. Not only did he go for a forehand, but he missed it.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is give away cheap points when you've got that lead. You want Johns to have to earn everything he gets from you.
And that comes up short, and that looked a lot like his match point he had in Seattle. He had a forehand there just to destroy, and he's fine in that rally and just bunted it back in the middle of the court.
Yeah, I have no problem with him trying to keep Johns pinned in that corner, but when he gets a high ball, that's his opportunity to be a bit more aggressive. I agree with you, Dave. Got passive there and paid the price.
Good overhead there. So lead is gone, but he doesn't trail. So can he get that 6 point? Just has been unavailable here.
Yeah, Garnett's going to need to raise his level just a bit more if he wants to get through in this one.
And finally finds the forehand when he needed it most.
Yeah, he's got to find that fine line of being very disciplined on return, but understand he's got to come up with some great shot making when he's serving.
Good first volley there from John. So the deficit is 1 this time, getting the ball back.
5-6.
And Connor Garnett stares him down and says, I am the cat and you are the mouse, right there.
That's absolutely huge. The point was brought to neutral, so for Garnett to win in that type of point, that type of style at this moment, is absolutely huge for him.
No, come
Ben just cannot believe how many volleys he's missed in this match so far.
Wow, was that return either 1 millimeter in or a couple millimeters out? That was really close.
Well, you mentioned how fair both these guys are.
Yeah.
Maybe too fair on that occasion. Who knows?
Oh my goodness. Everybody in the place thinks an ATP's coming, and Ben pulls it back cross court, but shallow enough to get a miss.
Yeah, found an angle that looked borderline impossible, but this is what he does so well, and he is chipping his way back into this second game.
Finally got that backhand slice cut approach to hit the ground, or at least have to be hit up. 7 apiece.
Yeah, starting to commit to it. I think that was the adjustment he definitely needed to make. And he's starting to drop occasionally to the forehand side of Connor Garnett.
And there he's just staring you down with the pressure, and he said, you can be the cat for exactly one of these. Ben has come all the way back and has the lead. Unbelievable gets on both sides. Connor Garnett thought this is over, and Ben said, I don't think so. Look at that.
Well, the anticipation of Ben Johns is such an underrated part of his game. Knew exactly where Connor Garnett was taking that first forehand.
So what was once 5-1 Garnett is now 9-7 Johns, but that 10th point doesn't show up there. That's a huge hold. And I know history is in that man's head. He doesn't want it to be. He's got to keep those demons out of there. Man, return on the line. And so there's been, these little millimeters around the court.
A game of inches. So much so, Connor Garnett trying to do anything he can to keep scoring points, but Ben Johns has really locked things up on his return.
See the big serve from Ben Johns to set himself up to get to 10 here. And worst case scenario, Garnett, because of that inside out serve from Johns, couldn't even come in. And we are at game point to force game 3.
10-7.
And with a missed return, we are gonna play 3. Switch ends at 6, and can Connor Garnett finally slay the dragon? Just wide, and and this is interesting. Ben is just going to give it to him without a challenge.
Yeah, Garnett sold his confidence that it was in enough where Ben just said, you know what, fine, go ahead, take it. Maybe I saw it wrong.
Okay. And a little extra there, which is the last thing Connor Garnett wants. I'm not saying Ben's upset about that decision he made by any means. He wants the call to be right. But these drops now are dialed in.
Yeah, this is where you have to be a little bit worried if you're a Connor Garnett fan. He had his window, his opportunity. Ben Johns did not play his A game in game 2, still found a way. And you get the sense that he's just figured out the blueprint now of what it's going to take to come out on top in this one.
And Ben only having to play to 10 or 9 because of mistakes is not what you want. It's a great return into that corner, and that corner is the target.
Yeah, Garnett was having a lot of success keeping Johns from scoring any points, keeping him in the backhand corner. But Johns has gone back to committing to that backhand slice and getting in more cat and mouse points where he's so tough.
Just deep there, and Ben knew that Garnett was in position to defend the ATP, so went for a little too much there, and that's a huge, just to get off the 0 for Garnett, and confidence is big there.
And early in game 3, I'd like to see Connor Garnett get a little louder out here, Dave. Just kind of will himself over the finish line. You can kind of feel that the momentum has shifted. Sometimes you just have to fight back emotionally as much as your physical skills on the court.
Beautiful court coverage and lateral movement from Ben. Johns finds the winner. And to your point, Kyle, like, these fans will eat that up. If he starts just wishing them on to his train, they'll happily jump aboard. And now it is Garnett, but that is not the noise you were asking for. The questioning himself and saying so bad. That is the exact opposite.
Exactly. And it's tough to do when you feel the momentum going to your opponent. But anytime you do something positive, I just think you need to really get as loud as possible. And like you said, get the fans behind you a bit.
And that is in there. So a short cross-court return is usually death, especially to the forehand. And again, that one corner is where he lived. And we will switch ends if Ben wins this rally. That will be a nightmare for Garnett. And there's Freddy Krueger right there. The nightmare is here, and Ben's level. Can Connor Garnett find his best stuff? And returning short cross court to the forehand is not his best stuff strategically either.
Yeah, he's gone away from being disciplined and keeping Ben pinned in the backhand corner. I get that Johns has started playing better with the cat and mouse, but I'd still rather see him work to get up to the kitchen line rather than just hit a clean winner.
So it gets the ball back. Crowd desperately wants a tight race to the finish. We'll see if we get it. Garnett's got to do something on serve here.
1-7.
That's just too good. And we saw even game point in game number 1 was just a routine backhand volley that was missed. That was a difficult backhand volley that was hit for a clean winner.
Again, committed to that one-handed backhand slice. Did his job, got himself to the kitchen line. Wasn't able to convert on the forehand, though. And Garnett's got to go now if he's going to go. Got to make a move.
And runs around the forehand, gets the feet set, and finds the two-handed backhand. So it's all about stacking it now. Okay, you got off one. That's it. Can you get a couple? Can you go for your serve here and get that short return? I mean, that's a pretty good point from Connor Garnett, and all he's getting to do is give the ball back.
Yeah, using his legs to extend the point, but a great choice by Ben Johns, intentionally volleying short to bring Garnett forward to win in a cat and mouse exchange.
Man, extra juice on that serve from Ben Johns, an inch from the baseline with a lot of spin on it.
Yeah, and with points being so tough to come by right now, you just cannot return and stay back. Just making it a little bit too easy on the #1 player in the world right now.
Oh no, and now the momentum of charging across the court forces that one to go deep after a good read from Garnett, and he is going to play on 9-2, 2 points away from playing on Sunday.
9. 9-2.
Another rocket of a serve. Garnett forced to stay back, and we are at match point for Ben Johns. He was down 11-9, 5-1, and now sits here at 10-2 up in the third.
10-2.
And that will do it. Connor Garnett put up quite a